Heyo, welcome everyone to episode 12 of Today in the Scene. I'm Joe with Indie Arcade Wave, and this week we're going to dive into what it's like to run a convention. So, shout out to our sponsors, Can Arcade, everything arcade, music, and cannabis. This week I'm speaking with the founders of 2DCon. It's a local convention here in Minneapolis. I have the pleasure of speaking with Kevin Spande and Robert Thell. How you guys doing?
Doing okay.
Doing good. Doing good. Can't complain.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. I know we've been talking about it for a little while here. It's awesome to finally get you on, and I know you're kind of in the push here. We're almost at the convention. We got a week and a half
Yeah,
left.
just coming right up.
Friday 28th.
Pretty exciting. Does it feel different since it's going to be online? Like less
Oh
pressure or
God,
more
yes.
pressure?
Oh, so much less pressure. It's amazing. Like this time last year, we were man, it was like 20-hour days, and everybody was just working their butts off to get everything done. This is so much more relaxed.
Yeah.
Dealing with all the vendors,
Oh
and
Vendors,
gosh, yep.
hotel, moving items in and out. Just the whole moving in, moving out process is just insane for a convention.
yeah, that's always my least favorite part about bringing Galactic Battleground anywhere is we have to
Yeah.
move it
Oh
in.
yeah.
We went to a convention in Vegas, and it was a little bit better. We didn't have to move it in, but they charged us like $500 to move the cabinet from like the loading bay 20 feet. So in that case, I'd rather move it.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about 2DCon today. It's coming up here. August 27th is the
Yep.
first day, right? It's like a Thursday,
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. So I just want to know a little bit about you guys. What do you guys do? And I mean, who are you in your daily life?
Well, I work for Deluxe. I work on file transfer stuff. It's really boring. So it's not a whole lot to say about it. It's computers and it pays the bills.
We always got to have something else,
Yep,
right?
yep.
That's what the
That's what
convention
the
is.
that's what that is. Yep. The convention's my love, and it doesn't pay the bills. So I got to do something on the side.
How about you, Kevin?
Yeah. So I'm a data analyst for Wells Fargo. I work within um, everything relating to home mortgage. So that's a lot of fun talking about foreclosures and bankruptcies, and I do get to draw up pretty graphs. So I mean that's one plus to it, and being able to analyze data is really fun. But I mean, like you said, it kind of just pays the bills for now, and uh, going to conventions, being part of the convention scene, helping run a convention is definitely a highlight of the year, which unfortunately gets a little bit of a setback this year due to COVID. But at least we're able to provide something online.
Right, right. So where did you guys come up with the idea for the convention? How did it all start?
Oh gosh. This has been. I mean, we can't take a ton of credit for
Yeah,
creating it
I was going to
because
say that too.
this is the brainchild of Joe and Shauna Opsel. Um,
Yeah, shout out to them. They're the ones that connected me with you guys so that this could happen.
amazing people. They've been running. This is what the fourth, fifth 2D Con now. There's so many. It's all great memories, but before that they ran a little con at the Thunderbird, and it was more or less just a few consoles and people hanging out at the Thunderbird playing games and just having a good time. And Joe and Shauna they put the love into it, and they every year they've made it bigger and bigger and bigger. And we are what we are today. We've got over 2,000 people showing up, a huge hotel, tons of great guests. So yeah, we've come a long ways in just a few years.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it to all of the ones that Galactic Battleground went to, but I know the first one, which I want to say was 4 years ago. That was where we first debuted the game, and it was just Kelly and Dylan before I was even part of the team. But they spoke to me so highly about the convention even back then that it made me excited to go to. I went last year and it was a blast. You guys had a huge arcade, a ton of Japanese games, which were
Yeah,
really
those are
cool.
fun.
VR. You guys had an insane amount of consoles too. Like I don't think I've ever seen that many 64s in my life. They were set up everywhere. And plenty of other stuff to do too. The cosplays were going on. You had a music stage. Like there's a lot to the convention. So one thing I want to know, I kind of just said a lot of it, but I want to hear from you guys. What is 2D Con?
Uh, for me, 2D Con is just a celebration of all things gaming. I mean, we've got everything for everybody when it comes to the gaming convention, or just board games, tabletop, video games. It's the event of the summer, just to hang out with your friends and have a great time, play some games, find some new games. Yeah, it's really just an amazing thing for anybody who likes any kind of games.
Yeah, and Robert hit it there pretty good. It's an all inclusive, very family friendly, and we also like to bring charitable aspect to it as well. So anyone and everyone's willing to donate to, and I think we've got Able Gamers is the cause that we're donating to this year. So being able to donate, give back, and then also being able to go into an environment that's all inclusive. No one's going to treat you any differently. You're going to be just like family. Bring your kids, bring your friends, and just be able to join within um, the community of gaming, and just have a great time with everyone there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a really good way. Both of you, I mean, both of you summed it up perfectly for what I remember from the convention. Um, I'm curious about how you guys got into Indie Island. That's how we really got involved with you guys in the convention, and how that's grown. So I want to know, one, how that started, and two, what are the coolest things that you guys have seen come out of Indie Island?
Oh gosh, so Indie Island, gosh, this is I don't recall if we had it our first year, um,
I think we
but
did. I think we had it at the Thunderbird, and I think we did.
okay.
It was very
Um,
small, though. I remember that.
this is one of those one of those things where Joe and Shauna just literally know everybody, and they had friends who wanted to just play their game, and it worked out so well that the next year we just asked more people, and we put out feelers, and we put out more and more, and we hear about games like we your Galactic Battlegrounds cabinet, for example. We heard that through the grapevine, and that's where we find a lot of stuff, and especially now that we're big enough that people are coming and they're reaching out to us. So I think it's just a happy coincidence that the right people met at the right time and we were able to do it.
Yeah, the scene around here is just massive, especially in the upper Midwest. 6 months out of the year, we're stuck indoors playing games. So, being able to showcase those games that you um, play at around your house, make up these silly rules. You turn them into a board game. Maybe you'll craft them into an app or console game. We really give it a platform so our community can play those, and then give you some feedback, give the creators feedback, and hopefully you can create something different, or maybe push it in a different direction, or really it solidifies the game that you're making. So what, maybe we can publish this, maybe we can move forward with it.
That's exactly what happened with us. Like exactly, because you mention you showcase these games and people see them, and then you also get validation as a creator that your game could be something. So with Galactic Battleground, that's where they first found it, where we first showed it off was there, and Kelly was like, "We have something. I think we should actually move forward with this." And I know I was speaking with Ryan from Crunchbox Games last year. Shout out to him because we were talking for hours. Um, but he made a really cool game there. And you mentioned all the Midwest, the scene. The scene is huge. When you look at the indie arcade scene, like Death Ball is
Mhm.
Iowa. DSM, which produces the Switch and Shoe cabinets, is also
Yep,
Iowa.
yep.
Um, Killer Queen, I always forget this, and I know I'm going to get corrected if I get it wrong, but they're either out of Chicago or New York is where they
I
first
thought it
came
was
from.
Chicago.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do, but I always forget. I've talked to a bunch of people in their scene, and I can never remember. I don't know what it is. And the guys at Cosmotrons, they're out of
Hmm.
Milwaukee. So there's this huge scene. I don't know where it came from, but I'm really happy that it's in the Midwest.
I'm so glad you guys are here. Gosh, when we had your Galactic Battlegrounds cabinet, that was at that convention. One of my standout memories was I played one game and I realized how much of a blast it was. And then a couple of my friends came over, and then a couple of my friends came over, and soon we were having our own little impromptu tournament just right there. It was such a great way to debut something like that.
Yeah, and it's going to be coming to Steam. You're going to be able to play it at home with people. And with Steam's couch thing, you should be able to actually play online, which will be really nice. Um, I want to know, I guess we've kind of already touched on it, but if you have anything else to say, definitely chime in here. I want to know what your guys' mission with the convention is. Like, what's your
Well,
goal?
I mean, as a group, our goal is to provide again an all inclusive environment, and raise money for people who really need it in the community. You know, we're working with Able Gamers, and we've worked with them before. Um, you know, they're a great organization that helps people who would not normally be able to play games uh, get in on it. You know, they things like the say the Xbox adaptive controller. They raise money
That's
to
what I was thinking
build
about.
rigs for people so that they can join in this great community that we've all come to love. And you know, we're doing what we can to give back while also just having everybody out for just the best time.
Yeah, we've trying to create this environment, this community that allows for people to get out of their homes, their apartments, their basements, what have you, and join this celebration of gaming to meet people. It doesn't matter who you are, what your favorite genre is. If you like music, don't like music, you like the art, you're there to buy collectibles, or you're there to play tabletop games. We're just there's something there for everyone, and so we want to provide the space, the environment, for everyone to be a part of, and hopefully to like Robert said, raise some money, but also meet friends and pass along this community to other people you meet going forward.
Yeah, you know, another nice thing that you say what's the goal and what are we shooting for here? But another nice thing about 2D Con, especially from a staff perspective, and this is one of the reasons why I've just come back and I've put so much of myself into this con, is because we we've been able to have your personal goals and what you want to achieve in the convention and bring that out and showcase it for everybody. Like me personally, I run the arcade at 2D Con, and I came there one year and I saw this arcade and I was like, okay, this is an okay arcade, but I think we can do better, and I want to make it better, and I want to share this with everybody. And you know, the first year that I came to 2D Con, we maybe had 35, 40 cabinets, and you know, I was there as a guest. And then you saw last year, we were at that point in time, we were the biggest arcade that's ever existed in Minnesota. We had over 250 arcade cabinets, from indies to Japanese games, driving, rhythm. We even had a game where you bounce ping pongs off little platforms. It was amazing. And you know, that's the kind of thing that we really like to grow and cultivate here at 2D Con. You know, if you've got something to bring to the table, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that you succeed at it, and you know, share that with the rest of the community.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the size of the arcade. I remembered seeing a lot of games. One that I had never seen because you guys had a lot of Japanese imports that I spent a ton of time on, like Initial D and that Cube game. I can't remember
Oh,
what the Cube Rhythm
Yubi,
game.
yeah, Yubi.
Oh, I love that game. It was so much
This
fun.
game's amazing.
But I spent I spent a ton of time playing those games because I've never seen them. When else am I gonna be able to play these,
Yeah,
right?
shout out to the ladies at Snow Phoenix. They're one of our vendors, and they brought in all of the stuff from Japan. Just the greatest bunch of ladies you'll ever meet, and they go to cons all over the country, just bringing and showcasing those kind of games. They're amazing.
That's really cool. I'm gonna have to check them out because I've never heard of anybody that just does, but they do like a rental kind of thing for
Well,
Japanese
it's
games.
sort of a convention thing. So the conventions will hire them, and they'll bring a truckload or two or three truckloads worth of games out to each convention.
That's yeah, that's definitely something that I want to reach. I should talk to them about what they do.
Sure.
Um, so for you guys, obviously we've talked about the convention a lot and what it means to you. I want to know how you guys got started on video games. Where did that begin? Like, what are some of your earliest memories?
Ooh. Mine was a little special when I was a really little kid. I'm talking like 4 years old or so. My dad used to work at an arcade in Kansas City, Missouri, and he would always bring me in and just give me a handful of tokens and let me run wild around the arcade. So I have some very vivid memories of games like Defender and Pole Position and gosh, Tron. Tron was always a huge one for me.
Tron. It's a fun game.
Oh man, going back, two memories kind of stand out for me. One is going to Blockbuster Friday nights and renting a game there for the NES. Typically, it'd be 1943, a nice little scroll down shooter. Um, and then whenever we went to Burnsville Mall, we always stopped at Aladdin's Arcade. So getting going there and man, just playing whatever game we could at the time, whether it was the original Mortal Kombat or even the basketball shooter games. That was a lot of fun too. So growing up, I think those are some of the earliest memories I have. But I had to keep it. I had to play it while I could because when it was summer, my mom took away our system, so we could only play when the snow hit the ground. So we were praying for early winters.
That's definitely one reason to ask for winter, I guess. Um, since we already talked about your guys' history, where are you guys now with video games? What have you been playing lately?
Uh, as of recently, Factorio just got its actual release. It's out of early access on Steam, and that game has its meaty hooks in me. It's just so soothing. I don't know if you played it, but you build a big factory. It's kind of crafting game, sort of in the same vein as say Minecraft, but it's all 2D and sprites and you can
Okay.
automate literally everything in the game. It's so addictive.
Yeah, I've seen streamers of that. I haven't touched it yet, but
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never heard of
it's
it.
real good.
for me right now, I'm a huge pinball enthusiast. Recently, the past couple of years, I've really picked up pinball. During COVID, it gave me a chance to rent a couple pinball machines. So I've been playing pinball, almost every day for an hour or two, which is another feature that little segment we have at 2DCon is we have at least last year we had a good selection of pinball machines. Um, if we're talking video games, man, I'm still on the Hearthstone train. I've been playing that for 5, 6 years. I don't even know how long it's been out, but ever since it came out, and then Fall Guys too. That's taken the world by storm, I think, and it's just a lot of fun to play with friends.
What is Fall Guys? I feel like I've heard
It's
about that.
a King of the Hill kind of battle royale with these like cute little characters that you can dress up, and it's
You
like a
know,
it's
I
like a
think
battle royale meets gladiators type
the
thing.
the best way to describe it, the best way I've heard it described is have you ever seen the show Wipeout? Like the game show
Yes.
Oh
or
yeah, Wipeout.
Takashi's Castle. It's basically that,
Yep.
but in a battle royale mode where the bottom few get knocked out and you go on to the next game. Like you might be climbing up a tower and there's stuff swinging and you have to dodge it, or there might be a memory thing where if you stand on the wrong platform, you drop down and you get eliminated from the game. It's amazing.
Now that you talk about it, I feel like I did have somebody explain it to me, and the way that they phrased it was it's like Little Big Planet meets Mario Party.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways
So
to.
a
There's a
little
lot of
bit.
ways to describe the game. It's man, it is. It brings in a lot of different games into one.
So what you're saying is I need to
Oh
try it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's free on PlayStation Plus this month.
super
So
cheap too on
if
Steam.
you,
Huh. Maybe I'll look for it on Steam then. I don't have a PlayStation. I got an Xbox.
aha, one of those.
Yeah, one of those, right? Well, we've chatted about games plenty, and I know you guys are obviously enthusiasts. Let's go back to 2DCon and talk about the pivot you guys had to make because of what's going on. So, what has the pivot been like going from an in person convention to an online convention?
Well, I think for me it hasn't been too difficult. I everything I do is in person, so you can't really run an arcade while while everybody's out. You can play games, but it's not what I really do. So for me, it's been pretty laid back. I've just been kind of facilitating, but the con as a whole, there's definitely been some easy parts, and there's definitely been a lot of head scratching, like how are we going to pull this sort of thing off, especially given COVID-19, and if we can't we can't be in the same place, so it throws some hardships into things like streaming and filming. We that's sort of the hurdle that you got to wrap your mind around. How can you provide content for people when when you can't be in the same place, or even close to someone.
Yeah, it just forces us to think logistics in a different manner. With an in-person convention, we know the location, we'll give you a time, we know the equipment, but for this, it's what can we do in an online format that's going to best represent 2DCon and also give people a platform to showcase what they've created, or how can we broadcast uh, tournaments. So it really forced us to kind of look at our convention as a whole, kind of narrow down the individual aspects of it that we can transmit on a stream, and then go from there and just kind of reach out to those people who know how to who have done these things. Reach out to charities, make sure we're able to work with them, and then build content from there.
Yeah, and I think we're kind of lucky that, in a sense, that being in gaming, we've for years now, a couple years, we've had a lot of access to tools that have allowed us to stream. I mean, look at Twitch. Twitch has been around for a while now, and everybody knows it. Everybody uses it. It's and a lot of the guests that we have, their platforms kind of lend themselves to that sort of broadcast. So things like Megadads. We've had Megadads at every 2D con doing a live show. Well, they're just going to be doing a Twitch show, so it's not too bad. The real challenge comes in to do things like our big things, Indie Island, for example. Like we're it's more of a showcase, sort of like a Nintendo Treehouse kind of thing. We can't we can't necessarily have people having the same sort of setup. So it raises some questions on how you do that. But then, we also have our things like our panels, our cosplay panels. You can still do a Twitch show of that. Our spicy fan fiction panel, which is a huge crowd favorite, that I actually came up with. I'm going to toot my own horn on that one. Where we read we read hilariously bad fan fiction and eat spicier and spicier peppers as you go. So you said you like spicy, and we were
It's
last time
hilarious.
we did it. I ate a Carolina Reaper, and I saw the face of God. It was amazing. So I mean, it's the challenges are really mixed, but the nice thing is it's I don't think in we're not none of us are as stressed out about it as we would be if it was in person, just because it's inherently easier to deal with because we don't have to bring gear and we don't have to, we don't have to make sure the right people are in the right place and we don't have to staff these things. These are all things that people want to do themselves and share with people.
Right. So, with it being online, there's obviously positives and negatives to every situation. Obviously, no gear is a huge plus for you guys. Less to do, less tear down and setup. What are you guys looking forward to that's a little different this year? Like anything that really stands out to you that you're excited to try online?
Well, for me, I'm excited to see how the tournaments go online. I know that our Super Smash Brothers tournament has always had just a huge turnout, and I'm interested to see how that translates into an all digital thing. And the other thing that I'm really excited for is every year we've done a screening of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and it's sort of become like the you know,
The kickoff.
yeah, but like you watch like the theater nerds, and I'm one, so I love to. I'm talking to my people here. Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's a rituals to it, and it's the same thing every time, but it's always something new every time, and that's the Scott Pilgrim to us. And we're gonna be doing that as a watch party, a Netflix watch party, and it's a new format for something like that. And I'm really interested to see how it translates into a digital space like that.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a big group. I know it's extremely popular when we do the YouTube karaoke in person. So hopefully people show up for this because it'll be a great time. But for me personally, I think like two things. One, it's a little nerdy, but logistically, I want to see how we are able to move from one event to the next. It's going to take a ton of coordination on our end, so I'm hoping that is smooth. And if something like this happens in the future, or if we need to put other things online, this will give us a great experience for how that works. And then lastly, I really love watching the Midwest Speed Fest that goes on. Um, it starts at Thursday. It goes the entire weekend. They usually raise a lot of money for us too, which is awesome. They play a lot of old school games too, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and also newer platform games as well. So seeing these people crush games that you've loved, and seeing all these glitches that you never knew existed, and beating Mario in 10 minutes when you're like, how the heck did you do that? Is a lot of fun to watch. So I love it when people can break these games and then just tear my heart out when they beat these bosses and I can't beat them.
Right, I agree with that. I mean, I love speedrunning. It's so much fun to watch. Like seeing a game that you spend weeks trying to beat and then they beat it in 10 minutes is just beyond me. But talking from the logistics standpoint of having the experience with online, this could lend itself in the future to you guys running the convention, but also having the ability to do an online pass so that people that aren't able to make the convention can still see it from home.
I agree, and it's a good way to see how things will go for other events we do as well. I know we do every year. We do in November we do the marathon for Child's Play. What's gosh I and now I'm just it's on the
Extra
tip of my
life.
tongue. Extra Life. There you go. We do Extra Life every year. So a lot of the things that we learned this year we can bring to our Extra Life stream, and that'll be great. And we've had other groups that have wanted to host a streaming event or an online event as well. For other charities in the area, and it's just a great learning tool.
That's awesome to hear. Well, I'm really glad you guys came on here. This is the part where I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to make any shout outs you need to make. And we want the social medias for 2DCon. I want to know where to find you guys.
Okay, well, I guess let's start with the 2DCon social media. Twitch TV / 2DCon, and we can definitely be found on Facebook. Just 2DCon on Facebook. Do we have a Twitter, Kevin?
It's probably 2DCon.
I would I would guess, yeah. We're
I'm not
pretty
a social
much.
media guru.
Yep, 2dcon.net is our website, and you can go there and see our lineup, our future lineups, what we're doing, for next year. So yeah, I think those are the big ones as far as media.
Yep, Twitter is at 2D Convention.
There you go, 2D convention.
And I'll link all this in the bottom too.
Sure. Shout outs, I guess. Hey to the Rivet City crew. Looking forward to seeing spicy fan fiction this year. Sorry, I am just too personally busy not to get involved with it, and my stomach needs a year off. Again, shout out to the wonderful ladies at Snow Phoenix who make our arcade possible. Also, Paradise Arcade out of Minneapolis. They are the ones who made the other half of our arcade possible. All the classic games.
They also build our cabinets.
Nice.
So if you need cabinets built,
yeah, those guys are incredible people. They do wonders for our community, and I'm just happier having them in my life, to be honest. Outside of that, just hey everybody from 2DCon. I hope you hear this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got next weekend.
Yeah, shout out to Joe and Shauna Opsel for without them this wouldn't be in existence.
Two of my favorite people,
and especially how far it's grown. And shout out to all the volunteers that make this happen. You guys put in the heart and blood and sweat and tears to make this possible. And then all of our participants who enjoy 2DCon, who have come or who have said hi to us or appreciated what we do. It means a lot to us, and we're thankful that you guys participate every year. And hopefully we can get a lot of participants this year to look online, but we're ready to rock and roll for next year.
Alrighty, sounds good. Well, you guys know we already talked about it when 2DCon is going to be. That's going to be the 27th through the 29th, right?
Yep.
So check them out, check out their social medias, and catch them on Twitch. Until next week, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
See ya.